You're obviously involved in a lot of companies. You grew a lot of successful companies, and now, one of the big things you're doing is obviously investing in companies and in different areas. If you were to pick the best type of company in terms of, attributes, what would it be, and what are some of those attributes?
Well, from a distance, I'm not interested in a small business growing slowly. So I would look at scale. Is this business scalable? So that's the old concept of what is possible. So not how do I get this to grow 10% a year, but if everything went right, how big could this be? Right. So that's at a 60,000 foot view, at a distance. When I'm up close and personal to a business that I'm investing in, I'm looking at the intersection between the entrepreneur and their talent, their passion, and then what the world wants, what's in the market, what's the demand. So I want to see a real intersection between ability, passion, and demand. And if I see a sweet spot there and go, yeah, this person really knows what they're doing, they're passionate about it, and the world wants what they have to offer, well, that's a big tick.
Sounds simple.
Yeah. Well, like a lot of things in life, it's simple at that stage. Of course, execution, as we all know in business, is the next part. And I think that's where business is tougher, where you have to take your idea and make it work. And that's often a journey.
Yeah. So you've obviously interviewed a lot of, successful business owners and entrepreneurs, and you've obviously been investing in companies for a while. What do you think are the key components of a successful person?
Well, that's a broader question. I think I definitely look for emotional stability. I think if you're clever and brilliant, but you can't get up every day, and basically it's a bit like show business, I used to feel when I went into my business, and I see this in a lot of successful CEOs, they don't take their own problems, their own life, their own ups and downs. We all have, things that we worry about at home. We have health issues, we have kids, grandparents, whatever it is. So I think there's an emotional stability about successful people where they're really professional, and when they're at work or with a customer or with their team, that's what they're about. And everything else is pushed to the back. That's an important thing. I look for mental agility. I wouldn't call it intelligence because I think that's a bit narrow. Mental agility, they're smart, they're quick, and they know what they're doing. And their communication cycle is fast. And you can see that they're in tune and in the moment. So that's important. And then I analyze the idea. Are they selling a service or a product that the world wants and needs? Is there a gap? Have they thought through the detail? And when you put all those things together, you see sustained success. So I think the happy, balanced CEO or entrepreneur that just keeps winning and doing well, has that sort of characteristic about them. And that's how they sustain success.
Obviously, business is extremely difficult, and probably one of the most difficult careers someone could pursue. And all the challenges that people have, obviously persistence is a key criteria as well, would you say?
Well, I haven't found business difficult. Now, I don't mean that in a cocky or arrogant way, but it suited me. I think working for other people might have been harder for me. I've worked for myself for 35 years. Not that I thought I was smarter than them or better than them. I think I was a pretty good employee. I worked for a big company before Jeff Slade, 50,000 people around the world, a big construction company, and I was able to take orders and do what I was told. For me, business was just felt right. Persistence absolutely is important in the sense that you can't keep chopping and changing. You might try new ideas, but you've got to do it in a consistent way. And yes, there's no doubt that you will have days, weeks, even months where you don't feel you're doing that well. The toughest thing for me, I think, in Morgan and Banks, and Talent too, which were both 1,500 to 2,500 employees, was when people left. It's funny. I'm in the recruiting business, and here I am making a living out of turnover, but I hated it when people came in and resigned. And I used to take it very personally and think, have I let you down? Have I done something wrong? But then I realized that was just a normal cycle of life, and I learned to let go and let people go graciously. And I have to say that now, when I meet people who used to work for either Morgan and Banks or Talent 2, they tell me they had a good time and there's absolutely no hard feelings, and they went on to do things, and new people came along who did a very good job as well. But you do get emotionally engaged, I think, with your team. And the persistence for me was moving through that, not getting caught up, hiring new people, and realizing that you were always hiring people, training them to leave. I mean, if you were really doing a great job and they stayed with you 2 or 3 years and then went on to do something else, that was actually a successful formula.